Welcome back to Sioux Falls, our first coach of the day joining us now. Coach Woods, thanks so much for being here. How are we doing?
Doing great. How are you guys?
Great. Well, how are things in Denver? What are you guys looking forward to most for the season?
Basketball.
There you go.
But no, things are really well. We have 8 new faces, and they've been really they've done a great job of being sponges. We return our top 4 players from last year, and obviously Jordan Jones and Emma Smith are the 2 that joined me here. So I'm really excited. It's obviously been a slow build, but going into year 5, we knew that with Jordan Jones, Angelina Robles, and Emma Smith was kind of the core we wanted to build around. So it's nice that they're juniors now. We can teach a lot, but you can't teach experience. And lost a lot of close games last year. And though one would think we could panic or be frustrated, though we were, it was also situations that I know that they can self-correct. This year, just having experience not being in those situations. So I'm excited. I'm excited. Last year was hard, but we all survived. Had a great summer and really good fall as well.
Yeah. You mentioned Jordan Jones. She's here with us today, and we'll get to talk to her, but she's voted preseason All-Summit first team this year. And as you just mentioned, only as a junior, she has a lot of experience for you. Just what does she bring this team, and how much will you lean on her as a leader now this season?
First of all, we need to bubble wrap her because, Jordan is so versatile, and we talk about this all the time. We really have a great relationship. And her freshman year, she struggled, and we knocked heads quite a bit. And my best friend actually has season tickets who lives in Denver, and she'd always say, "You know why you and Jordan bet heads? Because she's like you were in high school." And once I shifted my mindset, I was like, you know what, you're right. She really is. And so I knew how to talk to her and coach her. And so we've knocked heads, but it's nice for going into this junior year. She really has embraced that leadership role. And I think one thing that doesn't get enough credit is how much time she puts in her game. She will watch film. Coach Dubs on our staff is the analytic one, and she wants to know her numbers. She wants to know how to be better. And I think that's the part that's overlooked. So she's a 6 foot. Honestly, you'll see her play in positions 1 through 5. We talked about her playing at points this summer. And so now when we go over plays and she's like, okay, I need another rep so I can get it at the point. So probably just give away a little secret, but yeah, expect to see her literally positions 1 through 5. And hopefully she can stay out of foul trouble. But I'm really proud of her. I think the growth that she's had, and she has so much basketball left ahead of her, but she's going to be the catalyst that makes this team go.
Coach, you were the top 3-pointing team, shooting team in this league last season, second year in a row. It was just a little over 8 per game. As you look at this roster with 8 new faces, but yet some very solid returners, you've liked to play fast, you've liked to play on the perimeter. How is that equating, and are they picking up the system so that 3-point shooting can continue to be as effective for you going forward?
Yes, I think a couple of things that our staff did a great job of is we finally have size now as well. I think one of the underrated parts about the summer league is just how big people are. So, coming from a short person myself, that's how I learned to shoot. You want to drive in there, all that stuff is cute until you got somebody 6'2" waiting for you. So,
right.
I think we have 8 or 9 now, 6 foot or bigger on our roster. So that was a big factor for us, but then just their versatility. So everybody, we do shooting drills. It doesn't matter how tall you are. Everybody's shooting threes. Everybody's shooting threes, but it's deceptive because people think we just want to shoot threes. We're actually 130 use shots, we 133s. And, because I am coachable, as I tell our players, they wanted to have a 3-level game. So there are moments where you can't shoot the mid-range. Again, it's the lowest percentage shots. We talk about that as well. But we've talked about when to use it, how to use it, and to kind of see that versatility in everybody's game. Again, we'll do shooting drills and everybody lines up together. So we have, three freshmen that are 6'3" plus, and they're out there with everybody else actually shooting the ball pretty well. So you're gonna see hopefully a faster play. Honestly, last year we had to run a lot of sets between our 4 core returning. I think they averaged 28 plus minutes a game, with Emma Smith averaging 36 minutes, which is just crazy to think in a 40-minute game. Like, she had no legs to do anything at the end. So we addressed that too. In terms of getting some depth. So I'm excited, but you're going to see a very similar style of play and hopefully a little faster than if you thought last year was fast, but
a little bit faster.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about schedule, just as you think and as everyone approaches the non-conference, knowing that You want to figure out a way to find some success, get some of those early wins, build the confidence of your group. You go to St. Mary's in November, a couple tough interstate matchups in December. You're at Colorado. You've got Northern Colorado at home. Just talk a little bit about your non-con, how you approached it, and then what that does in setting you up for conference play.
Yeah, I think again, Coach Dubs does our scheduling, and we go back and forth sometimes. But it was really important for us, as you mentioned, to set this team up for success. I think, if we have three non-division ones on there, and honestly, that's a reflection of I didn't do a great job of managing the bench last year. I didn't do great, not assuming that those are wins, but obviously, if you're looking on paper, then we're supposed to win those games.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to be in a better position to manage the bench better early on. And I think, once we got into conference play, reflected just the lack of a bench. And we've also changed just our development in the sense of some of the young people that we know are going to need a little extra time, but having the balance of some games that you're supposed to win, some games that are going to push you, some games that play similar to teams that we're going to see in the Summit League, in St. Mary's, in High Point. Now, High Point reflected the old South Dakota, but they have a new coach now.
Uh-huh.
But we played Carrie when she's at Idaho. So there is some thought that goes into that because you don't want to do something completely off the wall that you're not going to face and prepare you for conference. So I think we did a good job of having that balance. And, I'm one that works in short-term goals. Obviously, no one's showing up to practice excited for second place.
You got that right. Yeah.
Sixth place. Everybody's training to win a championship. So that's stating the obvious. But I'm really excited for us to compete non-conference. And it's our goal to have a winning record going into conference play and to want to know each game is what we talk about.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we have the chance to do that. And then ask me again in December, what our conference goals are. But non-conference, I think we really can compete with the experience that we have and the schedule and be pushed, obviously, but really take a lot of lessons going in conference play.
Got it.
Coach, 3 players from your roster aren't from the U.S. How have you expanded that recruiting journey and tried to implement maybe those players that aren't from here?
Yes, Emily Council is going into her 5th year with us. So this is my 5th season. And I told her we've been here the same amount of time. So she's seen a lot, heard a lot, and really to use her experience this year. I think the international piece is, especially now with the portal, you don't necessarily have to go over, there's a ton of scouting services that will send you. So it adds a different piece. I think the FIBA game is so different. The international game is so different. It gives you some versatility. And recruiting is just, this is my 24th year overall. And spending 19 years as an assistant. Recruiting is so different now. I told this story. One of my former players is the GM for Seattle Storm, and I coached her at Oregon State. So recruiting her then, when I wrote literally a letter every day in August, to now we got 5 kids out of the portal and 4 I met for the first time when they came on campus.
Yeah.
To give you an idea of how recruiting is. So the international piece gives you a chance maybe to get some different type of experience and ideally some experience in general. But really, I think it's more us still looking for the right fit, some size. Could you have some versatility? And I think we have that in Laya, transfer from LaSalle, a 6-foot kind of combo player that can do a lot of different things. So it adds a different piece to your recruiting and one that we'll continue to explore.
You talk about those 8 new faces, and then you also mentioned the core of these girls that have had those minutes for you and the experience and their leaders. How have you seen those blend together so far in the gym?
Oh, great question. So I talk about one thing that I adjusted. So last year, when Jordan, Emma, and Angie were all sophomores, I said, I'm just going to name the captains. Big mistake because I didn't do a great job of giving context. Why, what I was looking for. I just said, boom, here's the captains. So it caused a little tension, right? So we go to the spring. We obviously all get through the year, and they decided they want to be player led. We were actually in this building, and we lost to North Dakota State. And in the locker room, I had this whole speech ready. And before I could say anything, Emma Smith literally said, "If you're not ready to work, don't come back." It was like she said a lot of what I was thinking. So not only did she say it, but then the 4 of them, I'm going to put Emily Council in there, decided. So fast forward to the summer when we get all the new faces and they're able to finish our sentence. They're able to kind of just set the tone and practice. So about 2 weeks ago, when I said this is a leadership team, it was a whole different experience because the new players were like, they've done a great job of leading us. this is how we look to them for this. So it's been the first time since I've been at DU to say that we truly have a player-led team, and to have to do that in the past, and you're not sure if the buy-in is there. Well, they can do all the talking for me, so now I can just look at them. Jordan's being quick. We need a timeout in practice because she's already knowing what's on the other side of that if they don't get it together real quick. So it's just nice. A lot less sanitizer that I have to use in practice. So a lot less sanitizer, and the players all know what that means. So I'm gathering my thoughts. Yes, gathering my thoughts. Yes.
You mentioned Emma Smith, and I think she has been one of those dynamic kids that we have seen come through the Summit League. Talk a little bit about her, but her numbers speak for themselves. She averaged almost 13 points a game. She starts every game for you a year ago, as she did, and you mentioned it, about 36 plus minutes. What is going to be different? How has she made some steps and improved her game, knowing that she's got to continue to give you that type of leadership, not only on the floor, but production?
I think Emma has really expanded her game this summer and fall. She's really embraced being a playmaker, having the ball in her hands. I think last year she was a little bit more comfortable playing off the ball. So I think you can see her, again, her versatility really shine, where she can be at that point guard spot a little bit more. Her shot she's continued to work on and finishes at the rim. So I think what you're going to see from her is being a playmaker. We keep stats in practice, and we have one category that, especially this is often used when you watch high school kids because most of them aren't playing in college, but we start using it in practice. If you make the right play and you just don't finish with its right play, it's like a should have been an assist category. And so she leads us in assists and should have been assists.
Yes.
So now it's like her and Jordan looking at stats. Actually, yesterday, Joe was like, if I can just finish some of these for you, because I didn't finish this, I didn't finish that. So I think you're going to see her being a lot better playmaker. We've altered our defense a little bit, and it really has played to her favor. So I know she's been training like she's going to play, 40 minutes a game.
An Iron Woman.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, there we go.
If it can be an efficient 40 minutes, I don't mind, but we might need to get a little bit break. But I think just a couple of tweaks that we've made to the system, she really has gravitated towards, and it's shown up in her game in practice. So if you thought she was versatile before, actually being a playmaker and having that confidence to know that the ball will come back to her, I think you're going to see, Emma, honestly, ×2 in terms of what she's able to provide us.
That's awesome.
Well, Coach, thank you so much for joining us today. Best of luck to you and the Pios this season, and we can't wait to watch you.
All right. Thank you, guys. Go Pios.
Thank you.